So today we're going to review a little bit of domain and range. So remember, your inputs or your x values are called your domain, and your outputs or your y values are called your range. If you happen to forget, just remember alphabetical order. I before O, X before Y, D before R. Also, the word domain has the word in it, telling you that that's the input. So domain is always your X's, we just said this. Range is always your Y's. So if you're given a table of values or a set of points, to list the domain and range, you simply list the X's and list the Y's, but list them in chronological order from lowest to highest. So your domain here would be, start with the lowest X, which is -3. Just draw these little set brackets around it. I don't really care if they're perfect. You just have to make sure that they're squigglies. That way we know that they're not parentheses. So it's -3, -1, 2, and 4. So all we're doing here is just making the list of X's, and then the range, all you're doing is listing the Y's. So again, go in order. So 0 is the lowest, then 4, then 8. You do not have to list 8 twice. So why don't you pause the video, try numbers 1, 2, and 3, and then check your answers. So here's number 1, number 2, number 3. If you did not have any of these, you're confused, please raise your hand and I will help you. Now turn to the next page. Number 4 is extra credit. If you try it, let me know and I'll check it out, maybe give you a bonus point. Example B, we've done this earlier in the year, domain and range from a graph. So we'll use the inequalities if possible. Unless it goes both ways, then we'll say all real numbers. So remember, if you're doing left or below, you're using less than. And if it's left here, it's x is less than, because x goes left and right. If it's below, it's y is less than, because y goes up and down. And then if it's right of, it's x is greater than or equal to, and above is y is greater than or equal to. If it goes forever, both directions, left and right, or up and down, then you say all real numbers. So in the picture here, your domain, remember it's x, and you're looking left or right. So always write the words first. So this one goes, both of these arrows point right. And they specifically go right from 0. So I would say right of 0. So that means x is greater than or equal to 0. We did this in the beginning of the year. Range is up or down. So this one goes down. This arrow goes up. So it goes both up and down, making the range all real numbers. We'll try some of these together also. So domain, x, range, y. You can already set it up. And your arrow. So first, does it go left or right? This one goes left. The starting point is at x equals 0. So you could write your words left of 0, and that would be less than or equal to 0. Range, does it go up or down? It goes up from the lowest point, -1. So you would say above or up from -1, so that would be greater than or equal to -1. If you have questions on either of these, please pause the video and call me over. Okay, now these arrows again, domain is x, range is y, always set it up. This arrow goes left, this arrow goes right. So if it goes both ways, left and right, it's just all real numbers, because you can't say less than, you can't say greater than, because it goes both ways. Range, this one goes down, and this one kind of just stays straight at y equals 3. So basically it goes down from 3. So you would say y is less than or equal to 3, because the graph will never go above 3. Number 7, again, is extra credit. So I'd like you to pause the video and turn to page 8 and try all of those problems and then check your answers. So here's your answer key for page 8. If If you didn't have any of these and you don't understand why they were wrong, please just ask me. I am happy to help you. And number 4. So let's flip to page 14 now. We'll do a couple more together. Not page 14, sorry, problem 14, which is on page 6. Okay, so here we want the domain and range of each equation. So basically, if there are no restrictions, domain and range are all real numbers. So this would just be a line, right, with a negative slope. So domain is all real numbers, x can be anything. Range is all real numbers, x can be anything. This one has an x squared, so you can square any number. You could square a positive, you could square a negative, you could square 0. So domain is all real numbers. However, your output, anything squared, will always be positive or 0. So your range has to be y is greater than or equal to 0. Similar situation here, you can put anything in for x. So domain is all real numbers, but your output absolute value tells you it will be positive or 0. So your range is y is greater than or equal to 0. And here, now you cannot put a negative number in the square root sign unless you're dealing with imaginary numbers. So domain, it has to be positive or 0. X is greater than or equal to 0. Same thing when you take the square root, you'll always get a positive or 0. So your range is also y is greater than or equal to 0. So these will usually be either greater than or equal to 0 or all real numbers, depending on the situation. The next one asks you, for which function does the range decrease, so does y decrease, as x increases? So what your strategy can be is plug in an easy number for x. So say x is 0. Your output would be 7 times 0 minus 2 would be negative 2. Now increase x, so say x is 1. Your output would be 7 times 1 is 7 minus 2, which is 5. So what happened to our y? It went from negative 2 to 5. I think it increased. So this would not be the answer, because we want one where the y decreases. So let's try this one. When x is 0, y is still negative 2. Negative 7 times 0 minus 2. And then increase x to 1. Y would be negative 7 minus 2. There, you're combining them, keeping it negative, negative 9. So from negative 2 to negative 9, the y, or the range, decreased. So this is your answer. You don't even have to check the others unless this word said functions. But it says just one function, so that's all you have to check there. So I'd like you to turn to page 9. Also pause the video if you have any questions. Ask, of course. We're more than happy to help. And then pause the video, try page 9, check your answers. So here are the answers for page 9. If you don't understand any of them, please just ask before you move on. I'd rather make sure you know what you're doing than just do a bunch of things without fully understanding. So please just ask if you have questions. Again, I'm sorry about the projector not working. Okay, so I think that's all we're going to do for today. We will do a little quick check thing tomorrow. But for tonight's homework, just turn with me to page 10 and I'll explain all of the homework. So you're going to do page 10, this whole page. So you're just listing the domain, listing the range for all of these problems. For these, you'll have a list of values. This one will be a list of letters. Here you have to do the left, right, up, or down. And this one, you're just listing the numbers. On page 11, you're not going to do anything yet. On page 12, we're going to try numbers 8 and 9. That's just like what we did towards the end of the video. Make sure you read my hand here. So you're just plugging in. You basically have to find the output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Plug in negative 2, plug in negative 1, plug in 0, etc. And then also on page 13, please try page 10, or number 10. that one is where you're plugging in -4. You know what, you just do it from -4 to 0. So that way you're just going to plug in -4, -3, -2, -1, 0. So you're finding 5 outputs rather than 7 or 8. Again, all the answers will be on Google Classroom. If you don't understand anything, please just ask, and have a great day.